Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really profound paradox about our modern existence. Think about it. We live in an era with more comfort, more technology, and more connectivity than at any other point in human history. Yet, right beneath the surface of all these amazing modern conveniences, we're experiencing this quiet, absolutely devastating mental health crisis. It's a crisis that's touching almost every single family, workplace, and community. So how on earth did we get here? And much more importantly, how do we escape it?
Okay, let's dive into this, because the reality we're facing is honestly truly staggering. Official data is pointing to a massive global emergency, where literally millions of adults are suffering from deep depression. But what's perhaps even more alarming is the data surrounding our youth. We're seeing early adolescents, kids, showing severe signs of emotional distress, intense anxiety, and total burnout. This is a level of psychological strain in young people that was barely even acknowledged just a single generation ago.
We see this paradox highlighted in the headlines all the time, right? We hear these shocking stories about multimillionaires, people who on paper appear to have every luxury, every comfort, and all the success the world has to offer, and yet they still experience such profound despair that they take their own lives. It leaves us completely stunned. It really makes you wonder if money, success, and luxury absolutely cannot protect people from despair, then what exactly is going wrong here? To begin answering that, let's look at Section 1. The modern mental health emergency. Mental health just isn't some taboo subject we can sweep under the rug anymore. It is quite literally the defining issue of our time. The global picture is incredibly urgent. We are talking about hundreds of suicides happening every single day across the globe. We're seeing heavily strained relationships everywhere, where divorce has just become increasingly commonplace. And look at that last point on the list. People are desperately searching for answers. They're flocking by the thousands to spiritual seminars, mental health programs, and fancy life coaching retreats. Yet, these quick fixes? They're failing. Lasting change remains totally elusive, and so many people are just left feeling incredibly stuck. So, why are we so stuck? Let's transition to Section 2, winning the rat race. There's this famous, kind of biting saying, in the race of rats, even if you win, you remain a rat. And this brilliantly illustrates the core issue. Winning the societal game, getting that big promotion, buying the huge house, achieving massive status, it doesn't actually transform your existence. It definitely doesn't guarantee any real, lasting inner fulfillment. Yet we fall right into this trap constantly. We endlessly burden ourselves with our careers, with relationships, and this exhausting pursuit of social recognition, all without understanding a very basic fact of life. We keep chasing the promotion or the fancy car, completely ignoring the sand falling in the hourglass. We literally postpone our actual lives. We tell ourselves, well, I'll start living once I get that specific job, or once I reach this financial goal. But in doing so, we completely forget the totally unavoidable truth of our shared mortality. We're all fighting a battle against time that eventually we are destined to lose.
And when that end finally comes, what do we actually look back on? Studies and personal accounts from folks facing the very end of their lives are heartbreakingly consistent. They regret not living authentically. They regret postponing their real life for empty surface-level achievements. They feel betrayed by their own choices and find themselves asking, what have I actually done with my life? It's this tragic someday mindset that ultimately ends up costing us our today.
Now take that deep, existential dread and mix it with modern technology. That brings us to Section 3, the social media illusion. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast it shows. There is a massive, fundamental difference between truly living life, actually standing out in nature, seeing the beauty through your own eyes, and feeling it deeply in your soul, versus just documenting life, experiencing everything through a tiny digital screen purely for an audience of strangers. We're replacing authentic, natural reality with a completely artificial, fake world. We are essentially creating moments in the present purely for the past. Instead of truly enjoying a beautiful moment with our loved ones, we're busy capturing photos and shooting videos just to prove to everyone else that we're happy. This constant need for validation, the relentless fear of missing out, and even dealing with minor online trolling have all quietly become hopelessly entangled with our core self-worth. And sadly, in extreme cases, the loss of this digital identity has even led to incredibly tragic outcomes. The truth is, life actually isn't all that complicated. We make it complicated. If you look at the world, sure, there are real problems, but then there are all these problems manufactured by the human mind. The foundation of our sorrow really comes down to these three things: undue expectations, constant complaining, and holding on to people and words that frankly no longer have any meaning. Most of what hurts us isn't the actual problem itself, but the interpretation created by our own overthinking and our ego clashes.
But hey, there's a way out. We absolutely do not have to stay stuck in this cycle. Let's shift our focus to Section 4, 3 Steps to Peace.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a really solid, practical framework for your daily life. The 3 foundational principles are: number 1, learn the art of letting go. Number 2, drop undue expectations. And number 3, remove the need for social validation.
So let's tackle step number 1, learning the art of letting go.
Think about how often you hold on to a grievance from 20 years ago? Someone said something mean to you and you're still holding on to it, constantly reopening those old wounds. We forget that 20 whole years have passed. The person who hurt us might not even be around anymore. Yet we're still the ones carrying all that pain. It's like, why hold on to a rope full of thorns when you know it's only going to hurt you more the tighter you grip it? Just drop the rope. Life is entirely too short to waste it crying, regretting, or complaining. To maintain relationships and actually move forward in life, we just have to learn to tolerate things, ignore things, and simply let them go. Moving right along to the second principle, dropping undue expectations. Disappointment begins the exact millisecond our expectations aren't fulfilled. We expect so much from others, and it just sets us up for constant, inevitable failure. So the crucial point is this: human relationships, at their very core, function on mutual interest. It is completely fine to love someone, but you have to realize that no one is obligated to love you back. Instead of running around chasing people and expecting them to magically fill some void in your life, focus on watering your own garden. Focus on increasing your own value and adding genuine meaning to your own existence. And finally, we arrive at step number 3, removing the need for social validation.
We have got to stop carrying this heavy, honestly exhausting burden of portraying a fake, perfectly happy life to the outside world. True happiness is an internal feeling. It simply doesn't require an audience or a like button to be real. You are not a joker. You are not a magical genie meant to entertain everyone else. You are not someone whose sole purpose on this earth is to fulfill everyone else's wishes. Seriously, do not carry this boulder on your shoulders for another second.
Which leads us perfectly to your ultimate responsibility. Your biggest responsibility in this life is towards yourself. Love yourself, respect yourself, live the absolute fullest version of yourself. When you finally let go of the need for outside validation and start prioritizing your own authentic existence, life immediately becomes far more peaceful and infinitely easier. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to really ponder today. Take a hard look at your own habits. Look at your own screen time. Are you truly living your life, or are you just